Hello, Dr. Gross and classmates. This is Nicole Dalton, and this is my MPA 530 week number 5 multimedia discussion board. In this week's presentation, I will be covering the capital improvement plan that was developed by the City of Rancho Cucamonga, but the specific project identified is for the Rancho Cucamonga Fire District at Station 175. And I will also be going over an assessment of the primary types of bonds that can be used to fund a CIP such as this one, as well as the advantages and disadvantages of both types of bonds. And with that, I will get started with this week's presentation. As mentioned previously, the CIP that I've identified for this presentation is for the Rancho Cucamonga Fire District, but more specifically, water conservation landscaping, parking lot ADA compliance, and emergency vehicle circulation driveway improvements for Station 175, located off of Banyan and Milliken in Rancho Cucamonga. The water conservation landscaping will be removal of high water use turf and replaced with drought-tolerant landscape plant materials with drip system retrofit. And they'll also be updating the parking lot to comply with ADA rules and regulations, and also hardscape improvements for emergency response vehicles and driveway circulation. And the point of this CIP is to decrease in maintenance and operation costs long term. The fire district won't know the full impact of this until the full design is completed. Generally, to fund CIP projects such as this one, there's two different types of bonds that are used. The first example is a general obligation municipal bond, also known as GO bonds. And GO bonds are not supported by a revenue source. Instead, they're backed by the agency who is issuing the bond, and then taxes are used to repay the bonds. And to fund a project like this and to use taxes to fund this kind of project, a bond election will have to be conducted, and residents have to vote on whether or not they support a tax increase to fund a capital improvement project such as this. And the benefit to doing an election to increase taxes is that you actually have to get the support of the community members in order to fund the project, so that way you know at least the community is behind this. The disadvantage to that is if it's something that's super important to the public agency, but the community does not find it as important, then it is possible that they will not pass the tax increase in order to fund certain projects, and then the agency will have to go and find an alternative way to fund this project in order to get it done. The second type of bond that can be used to pay off a capital improvement project is a revenue municipal bond, and that's issued by any government agency that's managed like a business. Unfortunately for the Rancho Cucamonga Fire District, they provide public safety services to the community, and it is not a revenue generating operation. So to better explain the revenue municipal bond, I'm going to use a water district as an example. So let's say the water district is doing a capital improvement project. They can use their funds, like the water bills, to increase the water bill for a certain period of time and use that revenue in order to pay back the bond over time. So those revenues are essentially what's going to help pay for whatever project that is. That's an advantage because they don't have to go out and get tax increase and get it approved. But let's say the water district just increases rates all of a sudden, that could make people angry because they didn't necessarily support whatever project they're doing. Another disadvantage to this is, let's use the revenue that they're anticipating to make over a certain period of time. Let's say they're projecting that a bunch of residents are going to move into the city in the next 5 years, but their projections are wrong, meaning that their source of revenue that they thought they were going to get isn't necessarily accurate. So it's going to make it harder for them to pay back their bonds that they were trying to achieve with the revenue municipal bond. In this presentation, I covered GO bonds and revenue municipal bonds. And after reviewing both, a GO bond would be most appropriate to fund a capital improvement project, such as the example for the Rancho Cucamonga Fire District Station 175 improvements. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I look forward to reading any feedback that you may have for me. Bye.